Hi guys, would you like to watch an interesting case study regarding the misfire counting and set a misfire fault code with the check engine light but no actual misfire or physical misfires? So I'm Ravi here from Ravi Fix YouTube channel. Today I'm working on Honda Vessel. Customer complaint is check engine light is lit. When scanned the car, they found multiple cylinder misfires or random misfires, but they can't feel actual misfires or they can't experience misfire physically. This is really interesting because no actual or physical misfires, but ECM count the misfires and set a fault code with the engine control module. Once I have diagnosed the same issue in a Honda car, but it was a other one, not a Honda Vessel. So today I'm going to diagnose this car. Let's diagnose it in our way. I will show you the way. Already I have diagnosed. I'm going to demonstrate it for you. Before I start the diagnosis, I would like to remind you a couple of things which are very important. First thing is we should know what is the strategy used by the engine control module in order to count the misfires in the engine. ECM use crankshaft position sensor and its frequency for count misfires. ECM always monitoring the crank signal frequency and if any changes on that frequency, especially if the frequency collapse, he knows that the crankshaft velocity change and there occurred a misfire. So he count it as a misfire. So that is the basic method he used for count misfires. In that way, if the crank signal messed by any reason, it could count misfires without the actual misfire. If so, most of the Honda cars let us to clear the crank signal pattern from engine control module and relearn it back to the engine control module. I have done it before for same kind of issues for the Honda cars and I was successful. Therefore, I did same thing for this Honda Vessel off camera. Sorry, I was unable to record it, but I was not successful this time. I will show you what happened. This car is a hybrid version. When I start the engine and let it to be idle, it was counting misfires slightly. But when I cleared the crank signal pattern from the engine control module and relearned back it to the engine control module, it stopped to right away count the misfires at the idle. Really, it was a considerable change, so I thought that I was successful. So, however, before customer leave the garage, I made a test run with him with the scan tool and I monitored the misfire counters and I will show you what I found. So you can see that the misfire counters are running and counting misfires. Anyway, apologize for the shaky video. However, we run just 3-4 kilometers. However, you can see all the 4 cylinders have been counted misfires. More than 10 misfires have been counted in each cylinder. So I don't believe this is a normal condition because I have seen most Honda cars set misfires and count misfires during the run, but I have seen mostly it is in a single digit, but this time it is bit over, so I believe there is a problem. But believe me, I can't feel or we didn't experience any physical misfire. So on we stop the car and start again as a new fire cycle or new ignition cycle in order to see any changes in the misfire counters, but we experience nothing. I will show you furthermore. So this is the next fire cycle, same thing happened. It is counting misfires. So we always run over 3-4 kilometers for such a short distance. It count 2 digits misfire countings. So I believe the procedure I did that clear the crank signal pattern from the ECM and relearn the pattern again, it wasn't helpful and it was not successful this time. I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you earlier that this customer has taken this car into other shops and they have tried to fix the misfires, changing new set of spark plugs and they have done engine tune up, but nothing helpful. All they have tried to treat for the actual physical misfires, but in this car really we don't have actual misfires. We have a misfire counting and set a misfire fault code without actual misfires. So I will show you what I did next in order to find what is the cause for this misfire counting and set a misfire fault code. Okay, I have hooked up the 2-channel oscilloscope and one channel goes to the crankshaft position sensor here underneath and I'm going to take the crank signal from there. And my next channel, I have put the secondary ignition probe. I hope to find electromagnetic noises using this secondary ignition probe. I will show you what I found. Because I told you that the ECM also looking for the crank signal frequency changes in order to count misfires. So I'm going to do the same things and do my diagnosis. So engine is running. I move my secondary ignition probe around the engine and try to find who is emitting high electromagnetic noises. I found a one component here. When I move my probe close to that component, it emit more electromagnetic noise than the other places. So I will show you where it is. Before that, I will show you the scan tool that it is counting misfire after I start the engine. So still it is misfiring. So I will show you where I found that electromagnetic noise, extraordinary electromagnetic noise. So here you can see it is counting misfire, but it is under single digit yet. But I know if the car runs a little bit more time, it will goes to the 2 digits and counting over and over. And one thing I noticed that it is not constant. That means in a one fire cycle, it count more misfire in a number 1 cylinder, and next fire cycle in number 4 cylinder, and another fire cycle it count more misfires in the number 3 cylinder. So on, it is not constant. So let's go into the our test. Here the yellow channel, number 1 yellow channel represent my secondary ignition probe, and I will show you where he find that extraordinary electromagnetic noise. Remember, this green trace is the crankshaft position signal. Okay, I go to the yellow trace again, which is acting with my secondary ignition probe. So look, when I close this probe into the electrically controlled water pump. In hybrid cars, you know, there is a electrically controlled water pump. When I may close my probe close to that component, you can see more electromagnetic noises on the oscilloscope screen. I told you once I have diagnosed same issue in another Honda car name called Honda GP5. So I think same thing happening in this car too. So look at that. When I close my probe to the water pump, you can see a lot of magnetic noises there. So this is not normal. Definitely, if such a high electromagnetic noises emit from a device, it could affect for other signals like crankshaft or camshaft position signals and other signals. My argument is if this kind of noise affect for the crankshaft position sensor signal, it could lead the engine control module into count misfires as what is going on right now in this car. I have seen alternator fitted cars doing same thing, that they emit AC voltage out from the diode plate due to the bad diode plate, and those AC ripple noises hit to the crankshaft signal and count misfires without actual misfires. This car has no alternator fitted because this is a hybrid version. However, I have found that kind of noise come out from the electrically controlled water pump. So let's put both signal together and record the signal, and let's analyze and try to see those noises affect for the crank signal there after we record the waveform. As I told you, this green trace is the crankshaft position sensor signal, and yellow trace is electromagnetic noise emit out from the electrically controlled water pump here. So you can see that I may close my probe into the electrically controlled water pump, and simultaneously I will show you that misfire counters are running there in the scan tool. Already it has counted several misfire in each cylinders. Number 4 has over 15 misfires. So let's see the misfire counting and make sure that misfires are counting during the recording of the waveform. So then we know misfires are in the recorded waveform, and then we can analyze it. I will show you how I did it. Okay, I'm done. Waveform was recorded. So let's zoom in the waveform and take a closer look. Okay, do you see some noise on the crankshaft signal here? And I will show you. I saw these kind of noises all along the waveform. So I don't know exactly this kind of noises could affect for the crankshaft signal, and it lead the engine control module into count misfires. But however, we have to have a better analysis, so I will do that analysis little bit later. Until then, I will show you those kind of noise which I show along the waveform. So here another one. Hope you can see a lot of noises on the yellow trace which is emit out from the electrically controlled water pump. Simultaneously, you saw that a lot of noises on the crankshaft signal towers, especially top and the bottom of those towers. There are a lot of noises available which is not normal. So I will put a horizontal ruler on this noise on the green trace which is appear here, and do you see that it is perfectly aligned on the one noise on the yellow trace. So I am pretty confident that those noises emit out from the electrically controlled water pump, hit to the crankshaft signal, and we can see like this. Here also you can see it is aligned perfectly, both noises on the both trace. So this is confirmed. So noises are on the green trace come from the electrically controlled water pump. Anyway, I will save this waveform for further analysis, and I'm going to apply frequency match channel on the crankshaft signal, because I told you engine control module use the crankshaft position sensor signal frequency for counting misfires. So we have to do the same way. Let's do it. Okay, here I am going to further analysis. First of all, I will put a match channel here. So I am going to turn on the match channel, and here I put the match channel on frequency channel 2. So because my crank signal is on the channel 2, so I put the match channel onto the crank signal. So here you can see this white trace is the frequency match channel, that is indicate the frequency of crankshaft signal changes. That means the it will provide us the crankshaft velocity changes. So that is the method engine control module used to see the misfiring and things. So if deeper collapse of this frequency, engine control module take it as a misfire. So here already I have put the frequency match channel with the white trace, but you can see a lot of noises on that white trace. So therefore I go to the filter and put a 333 low pass filter here. So I apply low pass filter here. So then we will be able to see better signal on the white trace. Okay, on this white trace, it represents the frequency of the crankshaft signal. So do you see, this is how frequency is flowing, but in some areas you can see that frequency has been collapsed considerably. So maybe ECM might take it as the misfires. So I will show you and some that kind of considerable collapsing areas. So in this area I will show you first I will put a horizontal ruler there, because I don't need to miss the right location. So here in this area where I put this horizontal ruler, you can see that frequency collapse there. Do you see? Let me zoom in. Frequency has been flown like this, and suddenly this area frequency has been collapsed. So let's go onward to the top and see what is going on the crankshaft signal there. Is there any changes or any glitches there? Okay, when I zoom in the waveform and go to the top of that top of the crank signal, right on the ruler, do you see that there is a glitch? Do you see these other towers are looking good, they have a lot of noises, that is right, but in this tower, do you see there is a glitch? That means that tower look like it become two parts. So it has been divided into two parts. So this might be a glitch, and ECM could see this is as a glitch, and the frequency collapsing occur due to this glitch. Look at this. When we put this ruler, do you see right on the yellow trace there is a noise? So you can see there are little bit bigger noises beside this noise, but even this is a small hump than the other humps. This might be a higher frequency noise than these. So that is why this noise affect for the crank signal, and crank signal get a glitch, and that glitch affect for the its frequency. Okay, in this area you can see that the considerable frequency collapse there. So let's take a closer look, and yeah, you can see this area has a collapse. So I will put a cursor there and align that cursor on that location. So I will move onward to the top, and I will see that glitches appear in the tower close to the cursor. So yeah, do you see that there is a glitch on this tower? Here you can see that glitch. It is perfectly aligned with the yellow trace. That noise come out from the yellow trace. So this is the high frequency noise emit out from the electrically controlled water pump. In that way, this kind of notch appear on the green trace of the crankshaft signal. We can see that the frequency math channel has been collapsed like this. You can see on the cursor it has been collapsed deeply than the other place. So definitely there is a collapse. So then ECM recognize these collapse as misfires, and he mark it as misfire. So that is why we are getting misfires, misfire counting and set misfire codes without actual misfires. Now you saw obviously how affect these noises on the yellow trace into the green trace of the crank signal, and then it make glitch on the crank signal, and that glitch effect for the crankshaft position sensor signal frequency. Okay, let's move to the another spot where we can find that kind of frequency collapse. Here in this area, do you see that there is a little bit bigger frequency collapse? So let's take a closer look there by zoom it in the waveform. Actually, this frequency math channel function in the H-scope is super helpful for this kind of analysis. So I zoom in the waveform, and let's try to find that location where we found some frequency collapsing area. Here you can see a little bit bigger collapse there. So I will zoom in the waveform, and then I will put a cursor there, so then I can stay around the right place. So here is the location. Now I move the waveform onward to the top, and I need to see any glitches on the towers on the crankshaft signal waveform. Okay, right away I can see the glitch on this tower. Look at that. Yeah, so there is a glitch, but do you see that in the other towers there is no glitches like that? Just we can see noises on those towers. So definitely this tower has a glitch, and that glitch affect for the frequency collapse of the crankshaft signal frequency. And same times you can see that yellow trace signal align perfectly with the green trace signal. So this noise align with the glitch on the green trace of this tower. So I'm pretty confident this noise emit out from the electrically controlled water pump effect for the crankshaft position sensor signal, and then it make glitches on the crank signal. Definitely these noises in the yellow trace should be high frequency noises which can affect for the other signals. That is why you saw that green trace has been affected by those high frequency noises. So without this kind of advanced diagnostic test, we can't find this kind of faults. So I'm confident enough to call on this electrically controlled water pump with the evidence which I found, and already I have diagnosed the same issue in another garage earlier for a Honda car, and they fixed that car by replacing a water pump. So I'm pretty sure this car need a water pump. As customer came from distance area for diagnose the issue, he will manage to replace the water pump after he get back to the hometown. So hope you learned something from this video. Thank you for watching. Stay subscribed with us for more diagnostic videos.